When's the last time anyone asked you about emotional intelligence, family? That's something I'm seeing too many people even considering their level of emotional intelligence. But I think as we mature, it's one of the most key things to really keeping our ish together. You know what I mean? One love. Coming with a more serious topic, not so much smiling and laughing. Because emotional intelligence is something that is going to help us in our darkest of days. You know what I mean? When we're really going through it, having the emotional intelligence to know how we're feeling, how other people are making us feel, or how somebody else is feeling, can possibly save us some arguments. It can stop us maybe sometimes from doing an activity knowing we're not in a right emotional mind state to do it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we really are a little overly self-sacrificial, trying to do what we feel is right, not really thinking about our own emotional state or well-being. And I think because we're so big on being smart that we never really think about the difference between mental intelligence and emotional intelligence, because they are legitimately two different realms. But the difference that I'm seeing and why emotional intelligence is so important is because it really is tied into your money spending much more than your normal intelligence. Now, peep game. We're intelligence creatures that try to operate in logic, but we're emotional creatures. COVID has definitely brought that to light, you know what I mean? Because we're not thinking with intelligence. None of us, well, not none of us, but the masses are not really thinking about the fact that we are creatures that can increase immune our own immunity by taking certain actions. Instead, we're working off the emotions of fear and anxiety, and we're thinking so much about, what's the best way to protect ourselves. Should we get the vaccine? Should we not get the vaccine? Should we not go outside? Should we stay inside? All these things we're thinking are logical, but they're really more emotional. You know what I'm saying? It's really these times, especially Omicron, if there's anything it's done, is really make us get back to a feeling that we just conquered. And I wonder how many of us are really considering maybe that we just probably need a little bit more emotional management to pair with the vaccine, or maybe a little bit more emotional management to pair with our intelligence that can make us get through these hard times. But I always thought emotional management was interesting in how it relates to finances, because when you're really feeling down and you feel like you need to satisfy yourself, sometimes you might buy yourself something, you might overeat, you may get loose in your spending, you might buy some hella liquor, or buy a lot of weed, just trying to manage your emotions, manage coping through the moment, when maybe we could probably just take some time to educate ourselves on emotions and try to gain a little bit more emotional intelligence, because emotion is nothing but energy in motion. You know what I'm saying? So when we're not paying attention to our emotions, we're not paying attention to our energy. When we're not paying attention to our energy, we don't have a goddamn clue what we're giving out to other people, let alone what we may be attracting to ourselves. So, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to bring these two words up: emotional intelligence. While you're chasing success, while you're trying to become a smarter person, while you're trying to get more degrees than a thermometer. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that got degrees out the wazoo and still don't know how to stop getting upset over the stupidest little things. You know what I mean? I think emotional intelligence is a very big part of maturity. You know what I'm saying? We are going to go through things. Life is going to on us if it's going to. You know what I mean? It just, we can't avoid it. But how we manage and how we react, I'm starting to see as the key to it. You know what I'm saying? Having the emotional intelligence when someone's coming up to you, yap, 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 running at their mouth, even possibly just going off about something they have no clue about. Having emotional intelligence to know that that's that person's energy, that's that person's emotions, that's that person's problem, really, and they're trying to bring it over to you. So you, as a human, as yourself, you're feeling quite calm, you're cool, you're collected, but without the emotional intelligence to discern the difference between how they feel and how you feel, you may unintentionally become a mirror to how they feel, give into the moment, start arguing back and forth, and start doing more yelling, and it leads to more miscommunication, because ultimately it really required a different tact. You know what I mean? In one of my earlier videos, sometimes I said silence is the best answer, because sometimes it's not really about letting the other person be caught hanging as much as you giving yourself time to assess the situation, assess what is the best response that you can give in the moment, and at the same time not messing up your own energy just because of how somebody else is feeling. You know what I'm saying? Self-preservation. No one can preserve yourself for you. So there's going to be moments in time where you just sometimes got to just think from a standpoint of emotional intelligence about what's the best thing to do in this moment. Do I want to satisfy their curiosity? Do I want to recognize, whoa, that person is not able to manage their emotions right now? So why heighten their already pre-aggravated notion by saying some things that could be a little bit more insensitive to the moment? Sometimes it's just not about being smart. It's about really understanding the energy that's going on around you and the energy and how it's in motion. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to do is provide some of the techniques that I use to help with my emotional management. I'm going to put in the comment section 3 subliminals. These are subliminals that were trust given to my 1-year-old daughter when she's of age, which I believe is 5. So the stuff that I would trust to give into my own seed. That's the only reason I even am thinking about giving to you on YouTube, because I know everyone has their own thought process towards different things. I want to provide some practical tools that can really truly help you with emotional management, because you may not know that the inability to wrangle your emotions may be causing a lot of problems you have, and be causing a lot of financial problems you have. It could be causing a lot of the relational issues that you have. You know what I'm saying? But the things about emotions, they're invisible. You can't see them. So if you don't internally and go out your way to try to see them, maybe understand what's going on internally, then they're not always just going to volunteer themselves and say, hey, you know what I mean? This is really what's going on inside. You may be thinking that you're angry about something. You could be sad. You could be thinking that you're frustrated about something, but really what it is, you feel like you made a mistake. You're feeling guilty. You may be feeling like, you know what I mean, damn, you feel like a failure, but the reality of it is, it's not that you feel like a failure. You just have a little bit of shame that may have came from an earlier incident, and that shame has now come back to risen. Because guilt, fear, shame, anxiety, and apathy are killing mankind. And I want to do something against that. But I can't just tell you, hey, manage your emotions. It don't work like that. But I can give you something that if you got headphones, listen to for 30 minutes a day for 21 days to 60 days straight. Not only you probably will see the results in the first week, but this is something that addresses the issue from a subconscious level. It goes straight down to the root. You know what I'm saying? If you're ever trying to pull up a tree, you always want to pull it up by the root if you really want to get rid of it. So this is what we're doing. We're going to address those trees that are really destroying you inside by providing you with some practical tools that you can use to manage your emotions. So the 3 I'm going to put is going to be 1 for controlling your emotions. Each one will have the description of what the affirmations are trying to do so you can see the benefits. So the first one will be about controlling your emotions. I'm going to put 1 for emotional intelligence and emotional maturity, because, you know, we can grow old, but that does not mean you're maturing. There's a lot of us still in extended adolescence, and I want to help any way possible. So I'm going to put that one down for emotional maturity. And the third one is going to be about emotional release. It's something that will simply allow you to get those deep buried emotions down that maybe you got from your childhood, maybe you got from 5 relationships ago, but the deep buried stuff that you quarantined because you didn't know how to handle. Only the very first one, which is for controlling your emotions, will require headphones. The ones for emotional intelligence and emotional maturity will not require, for emotional intelligence, and the one for releasing the deep down buried emotions, they will not require headphones. You can legitimately just be watching television and just playing these joints on loop on the background and be finessing the ability to handle your emotions much better. And above all, you may see all of your relationships different when you start to use the emotional intelligence and emotional maturity subliminal above all, because you start to see everyone's energy and their thought process and their emotions from a different standpoint. Because when you become emotionally intelligent, you start to recognize sometimes the people are feeling the way they're feeling and they don't even know why they're feeling the way they're feeling.